It's good to be here with you, Jeff.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for inviting me on to talk.
Yeah. Um, for those of you that don't know either of us, my name is Zach Anderson. From Vernon, BC. I was raised there, and so is Jeff here. And currently, I'm actually living in Perth, Australia. And recently, I was inspired to embark on this crazy physical mental challenge. I was inspired by this man named David Goggins, who's known for creating just crazy, insane challenges and ultra running champion and just like inspiring dude, like motivational speaker, to really just embrace discomfort and like, find that mind over matter kind of mentality. And so I was planning on doing this run where he calls it the 4x4 by 48. And essentially I'll be running 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Yeah, it's fucking getting my heart racing just thinking about it.
That's insane, man. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
just thinking.
I haven't really trained running either, so it's going to be like pretty challenging. I'm going to be running essentially more in 2 days than I have in the last year. But yeah, so I wanted to do this just like for my own, mental and physical challenge, just to like push my own limits and see what I could do. And then I thought that if I shared it, I could also, inspire other people and perhaps raise awareness for some sort of charity or something. And I hadn't really had anything that really inspired me. And I'd only planned to do this like literally about a month ago. So I hadn't had much, anything in mind. And then I talked to Justin here, which he's like one of my best friends from back home. And yeah, recently his dad lost a battle to depression just in December. And we just had like a really deep and powerful conversation. And right after that, I just felt really inspired to do it around this, like bringing awareness to depression. And yeah, it just felt really aligned. Like this was like an opportunity to bring awareness to something important. And Justin, you were saying a lot about how, you're feeling like you have a voice now because of this. And so, yeah, it just felt right. And yeah, I have such good memories with Glenn too. Like he was just such an empathetic person. Like every time I went to Justin's, he'd always like call me over and, chat with me for like 5 or 10 minutes. He just always really wanted to know like what was going on in my life and everything. And it was just, he clearly cared a lot, about everyone around him. And I didn't really know it that deeply, but from what I've heard since his passing, it was like that with just everyone. Right, Joe?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it is a shame. I've been dealing with it more and more, and he was very extremely empathetic and always curious into other people's lives. And now that he's gone, I've had people I don't even know come up and continually tell me how much he meant to them and how he influenced their lives just by I don't know, being curious about how their lives were and their day-to-day being. So I'm extremely honored that you want to do this challenge in my dad's honor, and I'm blessed that we have this opportunity to kind of raise some awareness for it. It's an extremely tough topic, absolutely. and I think it resonates well with everybody because we do all see or have these depressive thoughts or qualities to us. Not every day so much, but just once in a while they come out in everybody. So it's a tough subject, but I appreciate you bringing me on to talk about my deals with it. And it's not really it's not a perspective from dealing with depression per se, but kind of one from being the main caretaker of someone who's been severely affected by it. And it does not discriminate at all. And I always thought I had such a normal family growing up, and none of this would ever happen. And it really can happen to anybody. And yeah, it's just extremely sad. But thanks for bringing me on here, Zach.
Yeah, no worries. It's my honor too. Yeah, the charity I ended up choosing is based in Toronto. It's a Canadian one, but it's kind of got really, I would say, a global mission, and that it's literally called Sick, Not Weak. And so it's really just trying to, reframe our sometimes assumptions about what brings people to these states, and just like identifying it as a sickness and not something wrong with the person. Because that mentality is sometimes projected by people, and the people who are actually sick feel that, and they feel like something's wrong with them rather than them just being sick, like something just unfortunate is happening in their brain or in their body.
Mm-hmm. And I think for people who don't kind of understand it, it is just like, why are you being so weak? Like, why can't you see the beauty in every day? And that is one thing I've really learned is, in hindsight, I wish I could kind of just lay there and kind of suffer with my dad. And I found the healing was most powerful when I just let my guard down and snuggled up to him and told him that his suffering was okay, and that I'm suffering with you, and that we feel your pain, essentially. I found a lot of the time I always said, like, we got to go up and go for a walk and appreciate this beautiful day. But for someone who's depressed, it's kind of hard to have that change of mindset so quickly. So I really do think just instead of having this almost like we got to get better mentality, right? This weak-minded mentality, you just got to look at it as him being sick and just being there for him and being there with whoever is depressed or not feeling well, and just kind of letting him know that feeling is okay, and you might not know why you're feeling those emotions, but that's totally understandable, and you're not sick. Absolutely. I mean, you're not weak. Sorry, you have an illness. And that's one thing I wish I could do more, is just be beside him and let him know that his suffering is felt. And yeah, I wish I could just lie with him, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've never had to deal with that in my own life, but I do really believe that, like, with every relationship we have, we need to just love people through their highs and lows, like as much as we can, to not judge and just let everyone feel what they need to feel. Yeah. And that it's okay to feel whatever they're feeling. Yeah.
And yeah, and a lot of people do kind of ask me, or they don't straight up ask me why, but I do kind of hate that question, because I don't think he really knew why, or like he gets up every day and someone who's not feeling the best looks around, and they have a loving family, they have a shelter over their head and food on the table, and they still kind of feel like shit. So this question of why it just kind of reinforces that they're maybe not, reinforces something's not right, and like, as opposed to just kind of like being like, I'm sorry that you're not feeling that way. Like, why just kind of see, like, why are you doing that? It just seems so negative almost in hindsight. And I know it doesn't come off that way originally, but it's strange how that simple question makes me feel a little bit of anger almost. But I know people aren't kind of coming from that as well. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the way I could imagine it is, yeah, people are within themselves or don't understand standard, right? And they feel just what the heck, like they're hurt by it and they just want answers. Like people always want answers, but it's coming from a good place, but it's totally missing the point of just how little we actually really know about a lot of
100%.
diseases too. Like there's so much, that could cause it, and so much stuff going around in our subconscious and kind of collectively. Like one thing I had been thinking a lot about is how like Glenn was just so empathetic, he really cared about everyone so much, and I feel like he would have felt other people's pain, and during this pandemic, like I can only imagine how heightened that would have been. Like seeing what's going on in the world and just feeling that pain all over.
The fragility of life, for sure. Yeah, I agree, man. He was extremely empathetic, and like I said earlier, lots of people have been echoing those same sentiments. So, thank you. And it is a quality that's a little bit missed in this world, for sure. And I think that's why people are bringing it up so much, for sure. And and yeah, the why again is it does reinforce how little we know about it. Essentially, I think that is a good way to put it, because I think someone who's sick doesn't know themselves why, or they can think about that why, but it will only kind of eat themselves up. It's like thinking in the past and kind of not moving forward with it. But it's a tough call and a tough situation as well, because you do kind of want to do some self-reflection and kind of self-improvement. But yeah. But
do you have any recommendations or things you would say to someone who's either in your dad's position or even in your position as like a caretaker for someone feeling that?
Yeah. I would say just listen. Absolutely. If you're caring for someone, or someone who is suffering, I would say just try to listen, because they often don't want to talk, and they'll often let you do all the talking. So I would say just try to listen to their emotions and what they have to say, and just be there for them. And if you are experiencing depression yourselves, and one more thing too, let them know how much you appreciate them and how much they've done for you over your life. I always did tell my dad how much I loved him, but I never did. I wish I got to tell him how much I appreciated what he did for me growing up. So I think people just need to be reminded that people do care about them. So just, I don't know, if someone pops up in your mind, and maybe give them a ring, or if you haven't talked to a loved one in a while or a family member, just give them a shout and let them know that you care about them and you're thinking about them. And if you are suffering, it sounds simple, but just talk to people, get a support network, a group, or something like that. One resource I like to listen to is the Mental Health Family Hour. I hope that's the correct name. But it is just people kind of talking about how fucked up they are. So it's weird, but sometimes you just need to be remembered that there's a lot of messed up people in the world as well, and you're not the only one going through the tough times, and people are feeling the same shitty emotions as you are, and there is help out there for sure.
Yeah. Well said.
Thank you.
Another thing, I didn't initially plan to ask you about this, but I wonder if you could talk a little bit about your kind of what it's been like in your processing of grief and what you've learned in that whole realm, because that touches more than just depression, what we focus this on, but so many people who've lost loved ones or
recently,
lifestyles. Really.
Oh man, yeah. You initially don't really want to talk about it, and it's kind of the elephant in the room. It's really hard when you see the person's friends and yeah, people he hung out with, because it just brings back emotions, and it is hard to talk about it, but it also is relieving. And once you do feel a weight off your chest, just like anything, right? So it's tough, but there are, like I said earlier, talking about it and just kind of maybe talking to people who've been through similar scenarios or understand, and they don't even have to. I just say talking about it in general is awesome. It really does help, but it is like it brings this anxious feeling up, I will say. But with anything, I think if you're not uncomfortable doing it, you aren't kind of growing or trying to evolve too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's like my life motto, really. You gotta step into uncomfortable things to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And through that you just gain so much capacity to love more and enjoy life more. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like I imagine after you step into those initial uncomfortable conversations, you probably feel much better. Eh?
Absolutely. And then it's easier to talk with that person the next time. It's like if you keep something under the rug, it's always kind of thinking in the back of your mind, where I found if it's the first time kind of seeing someone after my dad's passing and I haven't had that conversation with them, I do just try to get it out of the way. As shitty as it feels sometimes, or as emotion, like it brings a tons of emotion sometimes in places where you don't want to be crying, but it makes the next one easier, and and people do appreciate it, and it's powerful, and I don't know, there's something to it as well. It sucks. It's the most tragic thing in the world, but there is a lesson to be learned. So I will grow from it as well.
Yeah. Again, yeah. Really well said. And yeah, you've just been really inspiring. And
as you are, man. I'm super excited to see this challenge and how it blossoms, man. And I'm sorry to say I'm not attempting it with you. I do not have the time right now to run every 4 hours.
Yeah, fair enough, man.
But I wish you the best of luck. Holy shit.
On my own self. But yeah, I was just going to say that it's like really inspiring to see you just really step into that. And like you told me, you were crying every day. And I just think like the more and more I've kind of gone down this like spiritual journey, I've learned how important it is to like express emotion. And I feel like it's just, you're really just shedding a lot of things that need to be shed through emotion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's powerful.
Thank you. Yeah. And you too, man. You're inspiring as well in different ways, but it's all awesome. Are you, and what's up?
I was just going to say, like, I'm feeling pretty nervous for this challenge since you brought it in.
I was going to say, man, I'm nervous for you. I'm sweating for you already. You want to, you're getting started on it almost essentially right after this, right?
Yeah. So most of you are probably going to be watching this after I've already started. We'll see how quickly we can get it up. But I'll be starting, I don't know what time is it right now. Like
3:35 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, so that's 7:30 my time. So I'll be starting it in about half hour.
And if you are interested, absolutely keep up with Zach's adventure on your Instagram page, right?
Yeah, I'll share it on Instagram, but also share it on Facebook as well. So I've never really done much sharing on Facebook, but I know that there's probably going to be a lot of people watching this on Facebook. So follow me on Instagram, like my like I have kind of two things on Facebook, but I have like a kind of business page. So like that's probably where I'll be sharing about that. On Instagram and that I'll be consistently sharing little stories as I go.
Awesome.
Which should be entertaining for you all.
Nonetheless, yeah, absolutely.
And I just found out it's going to be like insane weather while I'm doing this, like thunderstorms and rain. I just literally yesterday found that out.
Just to add to the fact, eh?
Yeah. But I was telling you before, I'm kind of grateful for that because I think it'd be much worse. Like here in Australia, we're still kind of in the end of summer here, and mid-30s would be pretty brutal. So I'm actually welcoming the cold temperatures, but the rain and the thunder is going to also make it like mentally challenging. I just know that, being out, being wet, it's just uncomfortable, but I think essentially this, I feel like a little bit of a blessing though. Like it's going to be better on my body. I'll be with that cooler temperatures and that wet water, but like mentally it's going to be even more challenging, I think, than if it wasn't in the, so I'm like getting the greater mental challenge with less like physical challenge and physical risk. So, yeah.
There's some pros and cons, but hopefully it clears up for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a little bit, it would be all right. But,
yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to succeed, to be honest, but I do have this kind of deep knowing that like I've got it in me, but I'm going to be super cautious about,
be careful up there.
Anything. So I'm going to push through pain, that's for sure, but I'm not going to push through, like proper injuries.
Yeah.
But if it does come to that, I still plan on getting up every 4 hours. And if I can walk to the beach, I'm going to walk to the beach and go for a swim like every 4 hours, all times of the night and day, all weather.
Awesome.
And if I can't even do that, then I'll stay home and do like, I don't know, as many push-ups as I can for a half hour, something ridiculous.
Right.
We'll see. But hopefully I actually can just finish the running challenge. That would really, I'd be really stoked on that.
Yeah, man. If there's any person I could think that would be able to with minimal training, it is you. So good luck. Yeah. And if there is, we do appreciate even people just clicking on this and listening to it. But if there is people who want to donate to the cause, is there someplace they can do it?
Yeah. So on Instagram, there'll be a link in my bio. I've just started a GoFundMe that's directly linked to Sick Not Weak charity based in Toronto, Canada. But like I said, it's really, their whole mission is kind of changing people's assumptions and just basically their idea about mental health. So even if you're in another country, and I really think it's still helping change the tide of our understanding and how we approach depression. So there'll be a link in on my bio and Instagram and somewhere on Facebook too, probably right with this video as we share it. So everyone can jump on there. I just also want to say, like, for anyone who's not sick, but still is having difficulties facing challenges or pursuing their dreams and things like that, I just cannot recommend enough to really find ways to push your comfort zone wherever you can. In this case, I'm doing it in a physical sense, but it really is pushing my mental comfort zone, and it just allows you to grow. And, people have this kind of misconception that you can't improve your mind or change how you like your personality, you know, like you can be more loving. You can be like, you can be your best self, like that you could imagine, you know, and you just have to understand that you have to like train your mind. You know, people easily get that you can train. Like if you physically work out, you're going to get physically fit, but it's for some reason, and I don't know why, but people don't understand that you can train your mind in the same ways to make yourself a healthier and happier person. And I think if you're in a state where you're not truly sick mentally, that you almost have like a responsibility in a way to take care of your own mind, because you can, when you do that, you have more capacity to help people who are actually sick. So yeah, I've found this kind of growth in like a spiritual journey, but it never started out as that. You know, I never called it spiritual to begin with. I used to be triggered by that word, but the more and more I've gone on like a personal growth journey, I've just found that, yeah, there's just so much to be experienced. There's so much potential like that we can have, like so much love that we're capable of experiencing and spreading to everyone around us. And I just read something on Instagram recently, like when you start this journey of your own personal growth, it's not just for you. It raises up everyone, you know, everyone in your life, it raises up. So yeah, that's pretty much what I want to end on. It's just, if there's some things that you know you want to do like deep down in your heart, but it's just hard to do them, just start small. Like just get out of that comfort zone a little bit, step by step. And I hope just me embarking on this excuse my French, this ridiculous challenge will give you a little bit of motivation to face those daily challenges that you're facing in your life. So yeah,
absolutely, man. Well said. And I think it will get through to people. It already has to me. So
awesome.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck on your run. Keep the fans posted. Absolutely.
Will do, man. I appreciate it. I will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Take care, though. Don't hurt yourself. Take care of yourself. Absolutely. Love you, bro.
Will do, man. Love you too.
Peace.